This video is going to be a heart-to-heart conversation with you, explaining you, talking to you, like just having a conversation with a fellow introvert entrepreneur, because we get overwhelmed a lot of times, we get stuck a lot of times, I don't know about you, but then I never value time the way time has to be valued. Though I knew everything about, like, so how time is valuable, time doesn't come, time waits for no man. I knew all the codes, but then I don't know. It just like when we, I don't know the psychology behind this, but then I kind of say, okay, we get stuck, lost, confused, over at every stage in life, and I think, and just because of so many different variations, what's happening within our lives, no matter how much knowledgeable you, no matter how many resources you have. I'll tell you one small angle over here, that I had all the financial support that I wanted to launch a business. I had all the resources I need. I had the knowledge of the tactical stuff that I need. I was helping people make like 6, 7, 8 figures. Like, I was coaching them on a different level altogether. But when it came to my own business launch, my own work, my own mastermind launch, my own business launch, the academy launch, I was just not able to take that step. Like, I don't know. I have spoke to my dad about that. I spoke to my mom about that. I spoke to my friends about that. But then, when it comes to me, there was a lot of things that was stopping me. I had no idea what was stopping me, but one of the things that was stopping me was perfection. That's I think that's one of the reasons why we have. That's one of the reasons that these videos that you're watching on YouTube, the launch series, the playlist that I've created for you, is just to battle myself and come out in the world. Even if you're not watching these videos, completely cool with me. You know why? Because I'm not creating it for you. Though it will be, it is 100% beneficial for you, but it is a battle with myself to beat perfection. You know why? Because when you go on YouTube, that's one of the things that I like put full screen and watch it, because when you're on YouTube, the algorithm shows you so cool videos, so cool content creators and stuff like that, and you want to compete with them, you want to model them. It's like they've got great lightings, they're great background, great music, great delivery speed, they're great at storytelling, they're great in doing so many things. Again, they've gone through that journey and they've been a part of what they're doing. But these launch series that I have for you is telling you that that's like 2%. And you don't have to look at perfection, and that's what we're going to decode in 6 different ways, like what actually helped me come out of my own shell that we call the introvert shell. That how can we come out of that shell and do the things that we are supposed to be doing, because we think so much we don't get to using. That brings us 3 minutes of welcome. That brings us, thank you so much for joining in this one video. We're going to talk about 6 ways to walk out of the world of perfection. And to start off with world of perfection, one of the members that I had a conversation probably a couple of months back, almost a year back, he said, Fazal, we come out from a world of corporate life. And one of the things that he mentioned, which was so sensitive, that Fazal, when we walk out, now this goes in the whole system as well, but then he said, perfection is like a disease, Fazal. We want 100 marks in whatever we are doing. We have been conditioned and programmed across the life that, for example, if the paper of exam that you were probably giving back in 10th or 12th or post-graduation, whatever that is, if you did not score 100 marks, for example, even if you scored 94 marks in something, people ask you what, your parents ask you what, your friends ask you, like, why didn't you got that for left 4 marks? If you got 96, why didn't you got that for rest of the marks? Like, you have that potential, but why didn't you got that? They are a different perspective, but then those conditionings is equals to perfections. Like, dude, come on, I worked so hard and brought 94 marks, 96 marks, 73 marks, 64 marks, whatever the marks. You did your best and brought 34 marks. But when people start talking about, like, you need to get that amount, it's like, that's like perfection. And we need to take a U-turn and start not aim for perfection, aim for excellence. Tim Grover. Point number 1 is understanding. I think this video is going to be a bit long. You have to stick long. Probably we are going to talk about 6 different ways, and it's going to be probably a long one, because now I just got 6 points and it's just going to be a heart-to-heart conversation. I don't know which story, which experience I'm going to share. Probably no story, no experience. But then this is going to be an essential one for you, for recording courses, for online courses, whatever you're doing. This is an important video for you. So stick along and take notes, a lot of notes. Probably it's going to help you. It's going to definitely help you. Point number 1. I started recording these videos on YouTube as a launch series. You know why? Battling myself. And a few things helped me come out of that shell. And those are the things that we are going to talk about. Okay. So point number one, Grant Cardone said, and I heard his video a month back, literally like on 4th or 5th of February. Today we are on 4th of March 2022. He said in one of the videos, time is superior to money. It took me a lot of time to digest, and then it was like a moment where I understood, dude, time is superior to money. I don't know on what context he said, but then when I started to ponder, money is the byproduct of what we're doing, we know that. But time is not going to come back. And after that, what I started to do, I reduced the time that I'm spending on meetings, that the table masterminds I did. I reduced personally, because now once the 1 hour with the meeting is gone, then time is not going to come back to me. So what I did, I reduced the meetings, and probably even they started cancelling the meetings, and that was like a great for me. In those hours, what I started to do, I started to create assets, which is going to work for me, which is going to have that cash flow, which is going to be, again, they are assets. Assets is what? Like land gives you so much of money now. Digital assets. You start creating digital assets, which stays on long-term basis. This YouTube series that you're watching, the launch series that you're watching, these are all the assets that I started to work on. Just because one sentence I heard, time is superior to money. How can I make this time as an asset for me, which is going to give me so much freedom tomorrow, which is going to support me financially tomorrow, which is going to help me tomorrow, again, which is going to help my family tomorrow, which is going to put the food on the table, which is going to put the shelter on the roof. You have to start thinking, okay, how can I automate a lot of things? You might not, this might not make sense to you right now, but then watch it again if you don't understand. Probably watch it like a couple of months after that, because this one thing just tweak things within me, and I was like, hey, great, I'm going to commit to myself, like I'm going to record 2 videos for YouTube on a daily basis. 2 became 3, became 4, became 5, became 7. I did what? 75 videos in 20 days. And my milestone is like crossing 100 videos in 30 days. We are going to touch, I started recording on 6th of February, and today we are 4th of March. 6th of March, I should be crossing 100. Probably I'm already on the scale of 90. I'm on 90 plus right now. I don't know exact count of it, but then I'm 90 plus. That's sometimes things happen in your mind. Like you just things just shake. I'm going to shake you for like something happened within you, and you go all crazy. The obsession fuel. I cannot shook you as like, see, this is so important. Point number 2, OODA loop. One thing that I've learned from Alex Hormozi in those days when this momentum of me started up is what? Observe, orient, decide, act. The faster the loop is, the faster you go get the results. The faster you start making money. The faster you get to go to people and help them out. The faster you get to make money, give charity. The faster you get to travel. The faster you get to get married. The faster you get to have that case and the education. The faster everything. If this loop is fast, you are fast. If you are fast, you go hit the goals, whatever goals you've got. Like literally whatever goals. Pick the most ambitious goal you have and get into this loop and see what happens. Like you go crazy. You have that obsession fuel within yourself. Just unleash that obsession fuel and see how fast you go. That's like the OODA loop. Observe, orient, decide, act. Don't think. There's no T in this one. Don't think. It's like decide, act, move on. You make mistakes, great. You make mistakes. You're learning faster. I think the slower this loop is, one more thing comes into picture, the law of compensation. Again, this is something that I've learned from 2 different people, Alex Hormozi and Vic Strizheus, like 2 different things connected, and when it connected, okay, what is law of compensation? This is something that you have already heard of. This I knew for like forever. And this is something, the law of compensation in different perspective is one. If you don't work out for today, you will have to do 2 workouts tomorrow. If you don't work out for tomorrow, you'll have to do 3 workouts on third day. If you don't work out for 7 days, you need to be working for 7 days in one day. So The more you procrastinate, the more you run after perfection, the slower you are. The slower you are, the distant the goal goes, the vision goes, the action goes. The more you don't take actions, the more you need to start compensating. The faster you are, the less compensation you have to do, because you are already on fire. You are already on that obsession feel stuff like that. Oda loop. Point number 3 is, this is something that I've learned from Ryan Serhant to that's book stuff like, is IEDM. Is similar to what I said right before from Alex Hormozi, but in a different way. When an idea strikes to you, what Zig Ziglar, I think Zig Ziglar said this, when the emotion is high and the idea is hot, implement it, because emotion will go down and the hot idea that you've generated will also eventually die off, fade off, fizzle away, stuff like that. What is, when the emotion is high, when the idea is hot, start taking those small little actions, because it's all like introverts, it's all about that momentum. You build that momentum, the momentum is going to take care of you. That's the whole concept. Like, I is idea. The moment you have an idea, pick that momentum with executing. IEDM, idea. Give me 1 minute. It's not IEDM, it's IDEM. I got confused there. So it's idea, decision. Once you have an idea, immediately you decide what you have to do. The E stands for executing what the idea you already had. Once you decide, once you execute, you move forward to a different idea altogether. So the faster this loop is, the faster your speed is. Now, fourth one of the quotes that I've heard like way back, probably 2.5, 3 years back, which shook me in and out. But still, it took me a lot of time to start taking actions, but then it stayed with me for a long time. What's that? Progress or regret. When you look back, do you look progress? Do you want to look progress, or do you want to look at regret? Now, you have to answer that question for yourself. Like, when I look back, yesterday, last week, last month, last 6 months, last year, what do I want to look back? Like, did I eat so many Oreo biscuits and gain weight, or did I actually did not gain weight, but I became so aesthetically great in my own health that I'm so proud of myself? Or probably I worked so hard on my business, though it's not launched yet, but I saw my own deep-rooted seeds, which was so, I was learning so many things. I was being so consciously learning and picking from so many different places and so many different things, that is definitely going to help me tomorrow. So when you look back, what do you want to look at? Progress, your personal self-progress, or regret? That fourth point. The fifth point, this is something that I've learned today, is like, if you understand the N and C, your life is going to be so much easier. I'm yet to experiment this, because this is something that I've learned in today morning, but it's going to be an interesting one. N and C, necessity and confine. CONFINE. I actually have to Google it. It's like search, look at the meaning of it. Necessity and confine. The necessity is urgency. Okay. Confine or confinement, what that is, it's borders, it's limits. Now, in a different perspective, we'll talk about it. When the necessity of making money is to that extreme, we make things happen. If we've burned all boats, we will make things happen. In other words, do or die. We'll go deeper into do or die. You have got two options: do or die. Okay. Now, when you look closely on these two options, are you willing to die for something? No. The answer is 100% no. You're not willing to die. So, what are the options you're left with now again? Do you want to do it, or do you want to die for it? Like, two things. Do it. There's no die. You just have to do things. Wait. Necessity, urgency, creating that necessity, and it's like, I have to do it. I'll tell you a different example here. Is last moment doers. When you know you have to submit a presentation or do a webinar or do that weekly community call on every Sunday, and you know that you don't have anything prepared for the topic as already announced like a month back, that you have to be delivering that content on Sunday. Okay, so that's like the deadline of you. Last moment doers is that you become so anxious across for like the whole month, and Friday you start doing things, Saturday get things done, Sunday the presentation is ready, people are happy, you make that impact, you transform those lives, you start making money. If that is the case, you do so many things. Last moment doers. What made you do it is because it was so necessary at the last day that you have to do it, because you were procrastinating for so long. You're procrastinating for so long that you were just not doing it for so many thousand different reasons and being so lazy. And when it came to the final stage, you did it because it was a necessity. Confine. Now, we have to blend these two topics together here. Necessity and confine on a different level altogether. Is confine, in other words, the definition of it is having borders, is having limit. Now, if you see the same example, you have to deliver a speech on Sunday, which was announced a month back, 30 days back. If you would have decided that on a daily basis, I'm going to claim time for like 15 minutes, I'm going to work on this one project that I'm taken, 15 minutes, not more than that, not less than that. The goal is 15 minutes work. If you would have given those limits to you, you would have ultimately did it on across. You did not had that overwhelming feeling. You did not have to go through that anxious feeling, anxiety feeling across those 30 days of experience. Now, confinement in other words as well is, if you've got a deadline, an external demand, an external pressure, you are most likely to do it. So if you don't have those things, figure out a way to have that external demand or have someone hold you accountable for things which you are going to do. Now, these are all bringing back to how can you walk out of perfection, because I think if you are not taking action more on the lines of, because you want to create that great presentation, you want to create that great video, you want to have that great background, you want to find that perfect music for your background, you want to have that, you need to look great, you need to have that perfect makeup, your hair needs to look great, you need all those great things in place, perfect things in place, only then you're going to do this. No, you are already perfect in your own way. Even if you're not perfect like that, you're not perfect. Like, perfection is out of the way. Yeah, I'm not perfect, you're not perfect. If we were perfect, we would have been angels or something like that. We're humans. We're not perfect. We make mistakes. We make 1,000 mistakes. That's who we are. Point number 6 is the one of the coolest way to walk out of the world of perfection is having counter tactical strategies, Kosaka systems. One of the coolest things, one of the favorite topics that I've got is this one: having counter tactical strategies. If you think you are too perfect in getting one thing done, what do? You've got like, okay, in the Academy of Art and Sciences, what do I follow is 3 to 4 things: doing it now mentality, do it now mindset. If I want to record a video and probably I've got a pimple here, my hair is not looking good, probably it's like this, I have to do it now means do it now. Nothing can stop me. It's like a non-negotiable for me. Point number 1. I don't literally care how I look. Point number 1. Point number 2 is eliminating distractions. For example, if this leaf which has gone totally yellow, if this would have been bothered me, what would I have done to eliminate distraction? 1, I don't look at it. 2nd, it should not bother me. 3rd, I would take off the whole plant, keep it downstairs, record the video, put it back again. So eliminating distractions so that your speed is faster. Point number 3 is dropping perfection. One of the coolest things that I have, like, if these books are not lined properly, I don't care about it, because it's like, if they're aligned great, it's looking perfect. If it's not aligned great, okay, I'm working on not being perfect. If this book's here, this book's here. You do not have to be placed right here or right here or something like that. Dropping perfection. Like, how can you drop perfection so that you can pick speed instead of perfection? Okay, now is the king, something that I've learned recently. Now is the king. So whatever, if you want to do things, if you feel it's an important thing to do right now, do it. What stops you? You are going to stop yourself. That's the only thing that is going to stop you. Nothing else can stop you. That being said, that brings us to the conclusion of this 20-minute long video. Thank you so much for being a part of this video. Time is superior to money. OODA loop: observe, orient, decide, act. IDEM, idea, decision, execution, moving forward, progress or regret, necessity and confinement, counter tactical strategy. That being said, thank you so much for making this podcast / video a part of your day. I'm going to see you in an exciting another video. سبيل الدموع سبيل